Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Boss, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steve Larson. And available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, notification bell next to it. Y'all know the routine. We're also on Patreon at patreon.com/Steve Larson. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. What a day. What a weekend.
How awesome was it to be on what was supposed to have been a 9-hour road trip yesterday?
Ended up being a 12-hour trip, basically.
It ended up being a 12-hour road trip.
Thanks, traffic.
Thanks, construction. Thanks, infrastructure.
Well, I mean, like, the major delay had nothing to do with any sort of construction. I don't think so. I think it was a bottleneck because there's 2 lanes going down to one, and like 4 miles up ahead there was a stoplight with a bunch of traffic. There's there's 3 slowdowns. Yeah, and one was a hazard, one was that, and the other was construction. There was like 3 of them. Yeah. And it was terrible. He just put us back. And not only that, we're sitting there in traffic, and once the 5 p.m. Hour rolls around, we start reading up on what we have to look forward to the following morning, Monday Night Raw. Oh, wow.
How will WWE respond
with a lot of talking
to AEW? And they responded with the first hour bereft of wrestling.
Yeah,
that was you know what's actually funny about last night's show? So the community poll here has it at,
I'm just gonna dump all over it.
It was a lot of yays. It was nay 38%.
So not a lot of yays.
I'm sorry, I meant a lot of nays. Nay at 38%. Don't plan to watch up to 30%. That's usually the tops. Like, that's usually the highest when it's bad. Plan to watch later is only at 7%, and yays somewhere in between is around 20%. Yays are at 7%.
So I have another perspective from Tim Spulak. He sent me his thoughts on Raw.
All right.
Said he watched the Hulu version. Happy that Nikki Cross was being used. He said he thought Renee seemed happy. Brock's segments seemed like they were YouTube clickbait or recap packages. And then he says, name dropping AEW. Wow. In parentheses, is Sami still Vince's ventriloquist dummy?
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah, I thought that.
Hopefully that was meant for the air, Tim. If not, oops.
I'm sure he'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I thought that you needed more wrestling, for one thing.
Yeah, so
you needed more wrestling in the first hour to kick things off.
So you're coming off the heels of a pay-per-view on AEW's part that was better than anything WWE's produced, at least in this year, if not the last few years, in terms of quality of the wrestling, quality of the production, genuine surprising moments that you feel like can lead somewhere interesting.
Yeah, it was up there.
I can't think of a WWE show, at least this year, that could compare to
little takeovers.
Main roster shows.
WrestleMania was pretty good this year.
Yeah, but it's also like 10 hours long.
Yeah, that sucks.
And so
I don't like to blow things out of proportion.
No,
I don't. Like I think there's a lot. Like even last night's Raw, there was a lot of stuff to enjoy.
There was stuff to enjoy.
The schedule, like the way they laid it out, was bizarre.
The pacing was awful.
The pacing was really bad.
My point being is that you're coming off a very good wrestling
show.
Yeah,
probably better buzz,
better than any main roster pay per view this year.
Yeah, huge shots fired. Yes,
yes, and WWE on their roster has some of the best wrestlers in the entire world.
True.
If there's any department where you can actively and knowingly compete against AEW, it's the quality of the in-ring product.
Yes.
Yet they chose not to focus on that.
Yeah.
Really at all.
Bizarre.
They made the third hour.
Absolutely bizarre.
So maybe their idea was, okay, let's try to avoid a third hour dip by making the first hour nearly unwatchable.
The funny thing is when you say that, it's there's so much. It's so weird because there's no other way to look at the schedule of events that's going to take place and not have that point of view.
Yeah.
And when you look at it and you say, are they trying to upset people? I mean, do you really think that Dancing Brock, which by the way was very entertaining, and I thought him not knowing that he had I was dying laughing.
That was pretty funny.
When he said he didn't know that they had an entire year.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I thought that Brock was the least checked out person of the roster last night. I thought he was terrific.
Yeah.
It's just the pacing, and they needed one more match. And All Elite Wrestling had many awesome tag teams now.
Yeah.
And two of the best in the world put on an epic performance, the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And, so what do they give us on Raw?
Uso block party.
They give us an Uso
With
block
zero
party.
tag team wrestling.
I don't understand why they didn't just do a tag match in its place. You've got the club. Get them in like a three-way thing.
Here's the only thing I think of is Vince. I'm sure he didn't watch Double or Nothing. He probably has people tell him about it.
Yeah, sure.
And he thought, well, what's the one thing that really separates us from AEW? Our characters. So let's focus on our characters for this first step. I just try to wrap my brain around what the thought process could be, because I don't know why you go the whole first hour basically with zero wrestling on your wrestling program.
Vince is very strange.
Yeah.
We all know that. Mm-hmm. That's like me saying water's wet, right? He's really weird. Okay. It sounds like this actually seemed more of so for Vince, it's almost like an anti-response, It's, I don't need to respond to you. I'm going to do business as usual. And
well, it's not just business as usual. It's like, I'm going to go so far to the extreme of how my product is different than yours. That's what it felt like. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, trying to figure out where Vince's headspace is a nightmare. I would never want to do that.
No, that seems miserable.
So I don't know, man. It was a nay, but I do kind of feel like it could have been flipped to a yay with like an additional match, or you let Cesaro and Ricochet go 10 more minutes because they had a killer 7.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was great. I thought this was the best Firefly Funhouse we've seen.
It was really good.
I thought there was a lot going on. I even wrote down a bunch of the stuff he said.
Dancing Brock was fun, but then even that was kind of awkward when they were switching between the different themes. So they start Brock's theme, and they go to some dance song. So he comes out dancing, and that's all fine. And he's up there dancing, and then he kind of takes a beat, and then the New Day's theme kicks in. And I get the idea is that he's trying to annoy, antagonize Kofi and Seth. The transitions were clumsy.
Yeah.
And then until Seth's song came on, it really didn't make much sense.
Yeah, I know. Production-wise, it was clunky.
Yeah.
You're right. It was, with comedy.
And too long. It was too long.
Everything's too long. WWE's, that's everything they do is too long, except for good matches. Like Ricochet Cesaro was too short. Everything else is too long.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought oh man, what are they like? It's just there. Yes, there's a lot of stuff to like, but the bottom line is when you look at how much time they have, what they do with it, and the order of events that happens, it's just a mess. It's obviously a mess.
I said this on the drive yesterday when we were kind of going on Twitter looking at what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if the drop from second to third hour wasn't as great this time, because I think there'd be a massive drop after the first hour.
I think you're right.
I think a lot of people probably started the first hour and was like, there's no wrestling.
Nothing's
happening on the show. Why am I wasting my time with this?
Unless, I'll be honest, unless
they were really that high on Dancing Brock.
Yeah, I think the Dancing Brock thing was sort of a viral thing. Like a lot of everybody was talking about Dancing Brock. I could see that being a reason for people to tune in. Maybe the second hour drop was big. I don't know. We'll find out that later on tonight. We have a couple new channel members. Larson, we do. We have welcome Matt Dale 16. Oh, John Misenberg, welcome, and thank you. Let's see here. We have some new patrons as well from over the weekend. Lost My Sanity, Frank Penguin, Paul Reed, Clefoun, Harrison Corin, April DaCosta. I like this name here. Hugh, and then last name, Jass. So if I run the words together...
I don't think you need to worry about putting... I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It's who's next in line? Huge ass. You have to say it like that. Chris Breesman, sorry. Noah Jarvis, Derek Oliveira, James Francis, Daniel Symington, Rodrigo Cuero, David Fishkin, I remember him.
Oh yeah.
And Gary MacArthur. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we're coming down to the end of the month on Patreon, and that always means you got to get your pledges in by the end of the month to get your Friendo Care package as soon as possible. I'll be taking today, so after this, we're doing nothing because we're still tired. I'll be doing like all the Patreon stuff for last month. I'm gonna get that stuff out. So
we're just gonna do this and then do overrun, then that's it for the day.
And then
I might go take a nap. Actually, it's not true. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do this afternoon.
And then once again, I want to give a big shout out and thank you. Holy moly, a Friendo Fest 2019.
Man,
wild success.
That went off way better than I ever imagined.
We were looking at maybe like 10 people that would show up, and I think we were up to
that
like,
by a magnitude of at least 4. By 4 times more.
I think it was probably closer to 50 or 60.
Could be.
It was a lot.
There was a lot of people there, and we're very much appreciative. Everybody showed up.
Yeah.
A lot of people helped us out a lot over the weekend.
Yeah.
Tim Spulak, first and foremost. We couldn't have done most of what we did this weekend without his help.
That's true.
So thank you, Tim.
I am a Batman drawing. I'm going to get on that today.
Yeah.
Sandra was a big help.
Sandra was a massive help, yes.
And Jerry, big help.
Yes. We got to give Conrad Thompson thanks.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know how he does it either.
He's he's a podcast. He's built a podcast empire.
He has.
Now a very successful wrestling convention empire.
All still maintaining his mortgage business.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. Incredible. We actually got a chance to talk to him for a little bit, and it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And tell him thank you in person. Because I know between StarCast and some other stuff, there's a lot going on for him.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Guess we got to thank AEW for putting on a hell of a show.
Yeah. Without them, there probably wouldn't have been this thing. Yeah.
And then everybody who showed up to Friendo Fest, anybody who came by our booth in the vendor area, I'm sorry we weren't there as much as we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming by, saying hi, taking pictures, shaking hands, giving Steve 2 sweets. That's pretty much the highlight of when we do StarCast, is just meeting everybody.
Yeah.
Having conversations. It's great. Thought of someone else to thank, and then I just forgot it.
Oh, dear. I'm going to have the vlog ready by Monday. It's my goal right now.
Mr. Triple Mania.
Yeah.
He gave us some stuff from G1 Supercard. It was awesome. Wade O'Brien.
Yep.
A couple bottles of
booze.
Yeah, of luchador-themed tequila. Looking forward to enjoying that.
Yeah.
Just anybody, really, who stopped by. It was awesome.
Yeah. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
First up, we had Brock backstage talking to Paul Heyman, his advocate, in his own, I'm assuming, personal green room.
Yeah. To the ring, Kofi comes out. He talks about what happened on, I guess first he did a recap package. And then he talked about what Dolph did to him, and that Kevin Owens re-injured Big E's knee, which I heard he wasn't even cleared to compete yet. They just wanted to have that segment with him last week, I guess. But he says he's on Raw to talk to Mr. Money in the Bank, Brock Lesnar. He wants to cement his legacy as the greatest WWE champion of all time, and to do that, he needs to beat Brock. So he tells Brock to come down and cash in on him tonight.
Yes.
That brings Seth to the ring, not Brock. And Seth says, I don't really want to wait either. He wants to know who Brock's going to cash in on right now.
Yeah.
So that brings Brock to the ring after his first theme kicks in. You get like a dance song instead.
Well, of course, he was rocking the
He's got a
Brock.
custom briefcase. Yeah.
Like a boombox.
The Beast Box, I think is what they call it.
The Beast Box. Yeah, there you go. Was it? I forget now. Was the box itself like the custom side that looked like that
speakers?
Was it decals or was it actually raised?
No, they actually
like a molded thing.
Bore holes.
Yeah.
And they had mounts and speakers, so they're concave. So they
right
go into the box.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. It
was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
He got a new shirt and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's dancing. He tries to do the Running Man, I think.
It was it was very, and the crowd loved it. It was very reminiscent of his feud with Eddie Guerrero. This gif is everywhere. Him dance around in like a sombrero, and the mariachi band is there. It's Brock having fun, and that's a sight that we haven't honestly seen since then.
No.
So that's really fun.
Well, that one point where he told Heath Slater he didn't care about his kids.
That was a shoot.
Yeah, probably.
I think that
was the lone time, apart from this, that we've seen any sort of character from Brock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he dances to his new theme, I guess, for a bit, and then New Day's theme comes on. More dancing from Brock and a little bit from Paul Heyman. Seth's theme comes on. Heyman starts air guitaring. Brock dances until he kind of bobs his head. And then he realizes that Paul's air guitaring, tells him to stop.
Yeah.
Seth gets annoyed. He just leaves.
That's like he really is kind of like if you look at what Seth does throughout this episode, he's just basically the WWE universe. He's like, I'm changing the channel right now. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Then Heyman finally starts talking. He blames Seth for peeing all over the Brock party, and then he and Heyman leave.
Yeah,
all without announcing who he's cashing in on.
Yes, at that point, Kofi's on the outside on the apron, and he gets attacked from behind by Dolph Ziggler. That leads into like a 10-minute segment.
Oh my gosh, forever
of Dolph. I'll be honest with you. Like I know, like on paper, this is really bad, and I know you probably were sitting there. You knew what was going to happen. I thought the entire brawl on the outside, and then with Xavier and all that kind of stuff, I thought it was kind of effective. I thought it was decent.
I thought it was effective
replacement for a real match.
Kind of. It was long.
Here's the thing that was striking about it. It was. You're right. Here's the thing that was striking about it.
Dolph's like he got beat up.
Face looked like he got ran over
and
during
that's the only thing that was kind of the saving grace of this whole thing. Even though his promo was way too long, too. Everything about it was too long. Because you mentioned that Dolph attacks Kofi, giving the zigzag on the foot of the ramp on the corrugated steel
That was
part.
cool. I like
that. That was cool. Xavier Woods runs out to make the save. Somebody go to commercial, and usually in most instances that's the end of it. We come back, and Xavier and Dolph are brawling all over the place. It culminates in Dolph getting the chair. He bashes Xavier with it. Dolph puts the chair over Xavier's head. Kofi, who was, I would assume during the commercial break, he was taken backstage by ref's trainer or something like that to get checked out on. He comes back out with his own chair. Dolph flees. And I think there's another commercial. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
There is.
You just said a lot of stuff, and that definitely would have been a commercial.
And then we come back from commercial, and then Kofi and Xavier are standing in the ring, and Dolph has gone from fleeing through the crowd to running back all the way around, going through gorilla position. He's at the top of the ramp now.
Yeah. He's got a microphone, and he cuts a promo. Again, it's a very lengthy one, and it just echoes what he said last week.
Should have been me.
His basic premise can be summed up, in one sentence. It should have been me.
It should have been me.
And it was, here it is. It's he's obviously taken acting lessons, but I don't know. Some people, like, they just don't have it. You just don't, like, you think that them acting just seems like they're performing, like, in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
He's practiced it a lot. It feels practiced.
You know what it feels like is for the last,
That's a terrible thing
I don't
to
know,
say.
3 years.
Yeah.
His gimmick has been whiny.
Yeah, I know.
Complainer.
Yeah.
And rather than taking these acting classes and adding layers to his gripes, it's just more intense.
Yeah.
Like he's on the verge of tears whining.
Like and also it just comes off, this is terrible because it's like, well, I'm bashing, like, preparation. It just comes off as really practiced.
Yeah.
Well,
here's the thing commentary said. They said explicitly, Dolph thought he was done with WWE, saw what Kofi did, and decided to come back because he thought he should be in Kofi's place.
Yeah.
Or he could have accomplished the exact same thing. Kofi was there if he were there. So you're gone for several months, and you think you're entitled to something?
Yeah.
If you want something, then don't leave.
Yeah. Why did it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe he thought, well, Kofi got a chance. Now I can have a chance.
Yeah, but Kofi's there every day.
Yeah, but they've both been there for like, what, 20 years now each?
Well, not
so
Dolph.
He's like, now's our time. Now's our time. Cool. I'll come back.
Dolph for the last year and a half has been more at the Comedy Store than a WWE ring.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. After that, we had the Uso block party, so we were backstage, and
they had like a tent set up.
It looked like a very lovely party.
Yeah,
there was
fun.
luminaries such as Robert Roode was there. Of course, it was Uso's party, so Naomi was going to be there.
EC3 was
EC3.
sipping
boy,
beverage.
Talk about. Man,
I don't think that was a work. I think that was him.
No,
just
I
being
think
like,
that was him. Like, screw this. He's like,
ridiculous.
Why did I not wait another year? Oh my goodness. Anyways, so yeah, they're all there, and the Usos say, "Hey, welcome to the block party, everybody. Everybody's invited." And then they're like, "Wait, I forget." One of the dudes says, "Everybody's invited," and the other guy says, "Hold on a second. No,
you in the revival?
Hell no." That's what they both say in unison. The revival. Clearly not invited. They will not be there. End of segment. We don't see them again.
Oh gosh, this next part was just.
So at this point, this is where we really should have gotten like a 20-minute. This was crazy. This is when we really should have gotten like Cesaro Ricochet for like 20 minutes.
So I think what happens, we cut from the block party to commercial. We come back, and Shane's doing an interview.
He's backstage, and he's doing some shadow boxing, and he's drenched in sweat.
Already.
He is
Already.
drenched
And
in
so he's got an
sweat.
interview, and then he's got Drew with him.
Yeah.
Interview's pretty short.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, let's go. So we get a shot of he and Drew walking to the ramp. They cue Shane's music. He walks down to the stage. They start walking down the ramp, and then they say, wait, no, we're not going to do that. And they walk back up the ramp.
Yeah.
And then they cut to the Orton Triple H video package. And then they go back to commercial.
Yeah.
And so... sorry. No. Shane comes out. He drops a promo. Then they go to commercial.
Yeah.
So there's a commercial break. And then they come back. You think the match is going to start, but no. Drew pulls. Shane's taking on Lance.
So his promo is he talks about
the Samoan Dynasty.
Right. He says wrestling royalty goes back generations. The McMahons and the Anoa'i. I'm terrible. It's Anoa'i. I used to say Anoa'i.
I think they said it. Yeah, I think it's
Anoa'i. I think it's Anoa'i. It's like so many. It's a lot of syllables. And I'm trying to get it right. I think it's Anoa'i. Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, so he talks about how their legacy sort of parallel, and he says, it goes much further back from than Shane and
he mentions Alpha and
Roman.
Sika and
He does. Exactly.
And Peter Maivia.
And he says, here's another competitor of the future from the Samoan dynasty, and it's Lance Anoa'i. Mm-hmm. And he comes out, and they put him over pretty good. So he's been in MLW.
Yeah.
He's an indie wrestler. He's wearing a Roman Reigns tank top, and commentary.
He's Roman's cousin, yeah.
And commentary puts him over. They're like, he's a young up and comer. He's a bit green, but he's out there on the independent circuit. And he's doing his thing.
Yeah. So after Shane's promo, cut to commercial. Drew pulls Lance from the ring and starts beating the hell out of him.
Before we get too deep into this, we're already in the middle of it. That Evolution promo is so long.
It is.
It's like, and it really deserved to be like you do that. I shouldn't be the one saying this. It should be like, this should be known. Like people, they should just be doing this. After a long match where people need to catch their breath, then you run a video package like that.
Not before any matches have started. Drew rams Lance into the barricade into the ring steps, chops him a few times, tosses him back in the ring, and Shane's like, all right, ring the bell.
See, this stuff I didn't mind this. It just, the placement,
it's within the context of everything else that happened before it.
Yeah.
Like, if this is just the second match of the show, not a huge deal.
Right.
This is the first match of the show, and the bell rings at 52 minutes and 7 seconds into Raw.
That's a big problem, man.
That's a massive problem.
That's a big problem.
That is a massive problem. I understand they have that Xavier Woods and Dolph brawl, but that is not exactly it's an attempt at a substitute for a real match. But again, I feel like that's something you put halfway through the show to get the crowd back into it.
Yeah.
For after maybe a lull of, I don't know, like an extended promo or the video package of Triple H and Orton.
Right.
That's something you do to get the crowd back into the show because brawls are inherently kind of interesting when you get chairs involved, especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not
and
like
Dolph comes out like he got ran over on the face.
It's not like the first action you see of the night.
Right.
Unless it's like a locker room clearing brawl, then maybe.
Yeah. So Shane's work. So there's one thing that's completely unforgivable about this entire thing. Drew McIntyre is a henchman, and God bless him. He does everything that he should be doing and a lot more. Like when it was to me, it was kind of funny. Like Shane's in there, Lance is in there, and then Drew, he just like grabs the guy's feet and he's just murdering him on the outside.
One thing I forgot to mention earlier during the interview backstage. And the subsequent walk towards the ringside area, Drew looks like he gave 0
He
Fs.
was like, you're right. And I'm not going to say he was checked out because I don't think Drew McIntyre gets checked out.
I don't think he does either. I think he just like, gosh, this is dumb.
Yeah.
That was the look on his face is, I should be doing so much more than this.
Like maybe the Shane Roman thing in Saudi Arabia is because it's in Saudi Arabia and maybe they're going to do a Drew. But this should totally be a Drew Roman feud right now. Like this match should be sort of like a pit stop, like a rest area.
Yeah.
On, during the road, Roman versus Drew should have already started after like the shakeup, and then we get a pit stop with Shane, which is good because he can be sort of backing Drew.
Yeah.
But Drew should be the focal point here, not Shane. Even though I really appreciate the work Shane does.
Yeah, he's trying, man.
He really is. And then so like you said. So Drew completely murders this kid, and it's funny because then he takes off his shirt, and you see this giant welt from like when he hit him either on the apron or maybe on the
stairs or something.
Whatever. So he's laying into him, and he tosses him back in, and then Shane just very matter of factly, okay, you can ring the bell now. It was very well delivered.
Yeah.
And then
so he starts laying into lands, and the crowd is chanting
AEW,
and this is awful.
During his promo, they were doing that,
and during the match.
Yeah.
Eventually, Lance taps to Shane. I can't talk this morning. Taps to Shane's triangle. Shane, right after the match, sweaty, out of breath, grabs a mic, drops another promo.
I like this line. He says, the biggest mistake Sika ever made was spawning Roman Reigns.
He says that while he has Lance in the triangle.
That was a really good line.
That was a good line. Anyways, Roman comes down, makes the save. Drew tries to intercept him at the ramp. He eats Superman punch. Shane tries to flee. Roman chases him down. Shane eats Superman punch. Roman sets him for a spear on Shane, and Drew pulls Shane from the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then backstage, they just leave the arena.
Yeah. So again,
that was your first hour of Raw.
Yeah. I mean, boy, oh boy. I honestly don't. I don't know, man. I don't like Vince. Vince is, like I said, he's very weird. I don't know if this is like, you know, I'm gonna show them how it's done. I'm gonna show them that we don't care because we already have this. On it, the whole thing just feels like they're no threat to us. We've got like however many hundreds of millions of dollars every year coming in, guaranteed for the next at least 5 years. Like they are nothing to us. We can crap out crap product and still be
make
fine.
Money.
Like you guys can all complain about it and we'll still be fine. That is the vibe I get from the show is we can crap out this product.
Do you remember?
And we'll be fine.
Do you remember that it was a SNL sketch? And I think, did Phil Hartman ever do Bill Clinton?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay.
Of course. Yeah,
I believe it was
for a while.
Yeah, I believe it was. Phil Hartman was doing. Maybe not. Maybe it was Daryl Hammond. Regardless, yeah, I think it was Daryl Hammond. But it's Clinton's doing a press conference, and it culminates with him getting barrage of questions, probably about the Lewinsky thing.
Mm-hmm.
So timeline-wise, that might have to be
that would have been
Daryl
Hammond. Yeah.
And at the end of it, what she just says, "I am bulletproof," and walks away. And I feel like that would be his attitude: is they are bulletproof.
That's a good analogy. I don't remember that one. That's a good analogy.
That's one of those that stuck in my head because his delivery on that was impeccable.
If anything, like I honestly think that would be the closest thing to it. Like Vince is basically laughing off a company that he sees as literally no different than like what's a really small indie company.
Like PWG?
Right, yeah. Like Peter, like he sees them as even though they're on TNT, he sees them as no different because in his mind it's WWE is like everything wrestling, and then everybody else from AEW to New Japan to PWG
hold on.
to Supreme Pro Wrestling out here to Virgil Flynn.
WWE is everything sports entertainment.
Yeah.
I think he wants to separate WWE as sports entertainment from pro wrestling. It's weird because Vince I feel like he looks down on pro wrestling.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He looks down on, he definitely does not.
I think he looks down on anything that isn't WWE.
I
think he thinks that he is the end all be all, and everybody from New Japan to the smallest tiny indie promotion out there are all on the same exact level. I do. I mean, the fact that they let Sami reference AEW last night, I think is part of that. It's arrogance.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's
hubris.
An understatement. It's arrogance. It
is arrogance.
Is there a special term for like supreme arrogance?
Hubris?
They're like hand in hand.
Kind of. I imagine. I feel like hubris is just a step higher than arrogance, perhaps.
Yeah. Like omniscient is like all the knowledge, right? It's not just you're smart. Is it omniscient or omniscient? Omniscient, right?
Omniscient, yeah.
Omniscient. Yeah. That's like literally knowing everything. Is there like an equivalent omni-arrogance of some sort? I don't know. Anyways. That's Vince McMahon. I guess it's just Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Could be. Anyways, after that, more Brock and Paul. They come down the ring, and they say, now's the time to declare who we can cash in on. Heyman starts reading from a clause in the contract in which it's...
megalomania.
Yes.
Dang MQ said that, yeah.
Seth comes down. He calls Lesnar a joke and a coward. Says, you're a shell of what you used to be. That's when, Paul starts reading from the contract. And he gets the clause about having the briefcase holder have a year to cash in. And Brock's like, wait, I have a year?
Yeah. That was
actually pretty funny.
The great thing was when Heyman reads it off, Brock gets that look on his face like, Did I just hear that right?
Yeah, the light bulb goes off.
The light bulb goes
and
off.
Then he turns to
Not
Paul.
the literal one like in Firefly Funhouse, but he turns to Paul and he's like, wait, did you say a year?
Yeah, a year.
And he said, yeah, a year. He's like, I have a year to figure this out? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I didn't know that. How would you not know? Paul Heyman literally screamed, how would you not know this?
I know.
You've been cashed in on.
I know. No,
in April, and Seth had won it in June.
It fits perfectly with Brock's character, though.
I know.
It was actually pretty good.
This was actually, I hate to say it, it was a masterstroke of writing
really
right here.
It was really good. So he takes the contract and starts smacking Paul with it.
That was amazing.
That was great.
That was really good. I literally, because like all this stuff we had spoiled for us on Twitter, and everybody's crapping on it, except for some people were like, oh no, I'm pretty entertained by it. Mm-hmm. This right here, I watched it this morning. I laughed out loud at that entire sequence.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They have such a great comedic timing, which we never get to see.
Not in full display like that.
Not really.
There would
no.
be little pieces here and there.
Yeah.
Like earlier when Heyman was air guitaring and Brock's like, hey, cut it out.
Yeah, and so that, again, the light bulb is off in Brock's head, and so he realizes that he can now turn this into a long-term tormenting of Seth Rollins.
Which they should. They should take this all the way to October.
I agree completely. So he says, he just looks over at Seth and says, screw you, Seth.
He says, I have a year. Guess what? Screw you, Seth. And walks out.
He walks out. So I thought that was very effective. So it doesn't look like we're going to get, I guess it's possible. I just think that it would be much more effective. This would be a fantastic, ongoing, long-term story for Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
always having to look over his shoulder for the most dangerous threat that there is.
Totally. Anyways, after Brock and Heyman leave, Carmella and R-Truth come running through the crowd into the ring. The loser locker room gives chase. Truth avoids a roll-up attempt from Eric Young, and like Cedric tries to get him. The club, Drake Maverick, he manages to evade everybody, runs back through the crowd. Another piggyback ride for Carmella. They flee.
Sorry, Adam Rosen here said 3 many arrogant.
Yes. After that, we had an AJ Styles interview. He is out of the Fatal 4-Way elimination match. He's replaced by Baron Corbin. Apparently, he suffered some sort of injury at Money in the Bank in his match against Seth. Heard something pop, and then Corbin sucker punches AJ.
Yeah.
After that, our first real match of the night, about an hour and 15 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross taking on the Iconics.
I love that they're giving Nikki Cross screen time, man. I think she's terrific. So yeah, I don't love that they are jobbing out those tag team champions left and right.
No.
My philosophy on that is I don't care who the two people are that are teaming up. If you haven't been a tag team at all, then
you should have some struggles.
You should not win the match against the tag team that's been a tag team for a very long time. And exactly, especially the champions. What do you think about Becky Lynch's new finishing move?
I mean, it's
the manhandle slam.
Yeah, it's an uranagi, seemingly.
With holding.
I didn't really notice her holding. I thought she had both her arms around.
No, I watched it 2 times. Peyton had, so there was a little bit.
Oh, so
her arm was kind of down
half
here.
Half pump handle, half uranagi.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
The name's not good.
It's going to take a lot of people going repetitions for them to sell it correctly, because Peyton walked into it and she was like, "Oh crap, how do I do this again?"
Yeah.
And it's kind of clumsy, but I don't know. That's cool.
It's something more sudden and impactful than disarm her.
No, totally. I'm not even a big fan of the disarmer. I think the Bexploder should really be the finisher, because nobody ever uses like a
Taz Plex.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, any move can be a finisher, because
your top rope leg drop should be the finisher.
No, I agree totally. And I was actually hoping when she pulled that off last night, I was hoping, man, I really want that to be the finisher. Yeah, exactly. So after Becky gets the pin with the manhandle slam, terrible name, Lacey Evans comes out.
Does the Abe Simpson gimmick again.
Yeah.
Walks down the ramp, walks back up.
And I like this little bit. Becky was she was about to go out there, and Nikki Cross kept on trying to calm her down, which should be totally antithetical to what Nikki Cross is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot with how they're going to handle Nikki Cross, because she's on TV. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too.
There was no Alexa Bliss this
None.
Week. That kind of bummed me out.
Yeah. Next, another shot from the Uso block party. Tamina shows up. She steps up to Naomi. They have a bit of a stare down. Then Tamina laughs. Everybody's happy. I think one of the Usos say all the family's here or something now. And then the Revival, they come in, bowl of chips.
Yeah.
They thank the Usos for the invite. Usos
you think those dudes actually eat chips?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're in tip top. They're not like immaculate. They're not like Finn Balor shape.
No, Finn doesn't eat chips.
I could see Scott Dawson maybe eating some chips.
Yeah, I would be surprised if them have some chips.
Wait, which one's the bald one? Dash?
No, Dawson.
Scott.
You had it right.
Dawson. Yeah, I had it right.
Yeah.
Have confidence in my abilities.
There you go. Trust your gut.
One day I can be omniscient.
Omniscience. So they thank the Usos for the invite. The Usos say, we didn't invite you. And Naomi said, I did. Let's squash this beef right here, right now.
Was this being the Elite Mike?
It was. I noticed that when you were watching it in the car yesterday.
I noticed somebody mentioned it like on Twitter. And then when I noticed it when we were actually watching, I was like, why is it I can hear like Robert Roode talking to Titus O'Neil right now, the same level that I can hear this going on right now?
I don't know why it was Mike so poorly.
Why didn't they have them all do the extras thing where they're like...
I know. I don't know. They didn't. I don't know why. After that, really good match between Ricochet and Cesaro. Man, let's let these guys fight for 20 minutes. Best of 7. That's what we need with this. Best of 7, 20 minutes every week.
You know, this is the first time that I've actually noticed the pew-pew-pews in Ricochet's thing.
Oh, really?
I think I don't know why people get their panties in such a bunch over that.
It just seems unnecessary.
But it's such a small thing, and I think it's symptomatic of WWE because WWE makes so many big mistakes that like you tend to notice the small ones. So it's like, why are you wasting your time on this? Like the thunderclap. I kind of like the thunderclap.
Oh no.
Really? It's cool. It's dramatic. Who doesn't like a thunderclap?
See, that's how I felt about the creaking in Alistair's thing. I was like, okay, well, that kind of contraption.
That was irritating.
I was like, I was like, okay, they're trying to do some like old timey horror thing, and that contraption probably isn't completely quiet. So it seems somewhat motivated.
You know what? My problem with that one is what? So what's the logic? Like they wheel that thing from NXT, where apparently they had plenty of WD-40. And then they bring it over here to Raw, and is it broken?
They just didn't mic it in NXT.
Okay, there you go.
That's all it was.
There's a good reason.
See, because when he's not on the shows, they just keep it in his basement.
But Ricochet's intro, and this is not going to be a popular opinion. I know this, but Ricochet's intro is so elaborate with all the lights and stuff. Throw all the goddamn sound effects you can in that. The thunderclaps. Yeah, take off her hood.
I mean, just taking off the hood is not that dramatic.
It kind of is, though.
It's not really.
All right.
Anyways, this is a great match. They did all sorts of crazy, ridiculous things.
This was, who has better core muscles than either of these guys? Because half of these things demand, like...
full sit-ups to execute.
Oh, my gosh.
It was crazy. That when towards the end, Ricochet goes for that 630, and Cesaro avoids it, and then sends Ricochet flying halfway across the ring with one European uppercut.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That bit where Ricochet was on the outside, and then the camera's right here, and Cesaro's kind of up against the ropes.
Oh, the finishing spot, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And Ricochet does a handstand, the apron, head scissors on Cesaro, does a full sit-up, spins himself around, hits a Hurricane Rana with a roll-up to get the win.
I want a feud like where they do one episode of Raw where like it's like one, like the entire second hour is just a match of these two.
I know. Iron Man match, that'd be great.
Put the United States title. Is that on Raw?
Yeah, but it's not anybody's waste as of next week. So it's getting
right. Yeah,
great segue because they announced Rey Mysterio shoulder injury. He has to vacate the U.S. title next week.
Yeah,
and then Joe comes out to drop a promo at commentary saying, "I'm happy to hear that Rey is vacating the title that he didn't win."
Yeah,
and that was it.
It's a good point.
Back to the Uso block party. Revival and Uso seemingly have a pretty good time playing some cornhole. Seem to be getting along okay.
That's the name of the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Never knew that. I thought it was just bean toss. No, not bean toss. Big bag toss.
No, it's cornhole.
Is it cornhole?
Because I think they actually put corn in the bags instead of beans.
Oh, okay. All right.
And there's a hole, so cornhole. Next, we had a
something new every day.
Promo from The Miz where he talked about in the past where he thought he was entitled to, say, Universal Championship opportunity, but now he realized he has to work for these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Although
he did, this was
a little too babyface. Wait, what?
Never mind, because that was a setup for the next one, which I thought was amazing. Because Miz, during his promo, he says, like you said, my priorities have shifted. Me and Maurice just found out that our second child is going to be a little girl. So he had a gender reveal. And Braun Strowman, during his promo, runs down Lashley, runs down Baron. Miz, and I want to say this. Congratulations on the reveal of your child.
I know.
Bobby Lashley, I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah, I know. That was.
Oh, my God. That was great.
That was great.
And the thing that I liked about it that I wish they would have done is like halfway during his promo, they hit his music. I really wish he would have been shocked by it. I know. Because it was very shocking.
Oh, he should have said, "Oh, my music's playing. Time to wrap this up."
Exactly.
Hands.
By the way, Miz, congratulations on the reveal of your child.
Yeah, no.
He didn't say gender. He said on the reveal of your child. I thought that was hilarious. Intentionally or not, I don't know, but it was great.
Next, we had the Fatal 4-Way Elimination match.
Lashley got a promo sort of during the first part of the match, a little picture-in-picture.
It was during his entrance.
Oh, the entrance. Okay,
yeah.
And he said, I'm a championship-level competitor, and I'm going to get the Universal Championship.
Yeah, and as I said, it was advertised Elimination match, both on Twitter and during the show, and commentary kept on mentioning, too, that especially when Braun was outside laying people out, saying, hey, Braun, you need to worry about getting your first elimination.
Right.
There was only one pin and the match was over. And I think they thought since Bobby and Braun fought backstage,
they're out.
They're out, but there's no countouts in a four-way match.
I mean, but you just got to make an executive decision at that point.
It's up to the ref, I guess.
They're out. I mean, what are you going to have to go run them down, come back?
Here's the thing. I mean, maybe I'm expecting too much, but you'd think the finish of this match would have been somewhat in place before the show started. You would hope.
Oh, I think that was probably we're just supposed to assume. Oh, well, they're out.
I understand.
They're gone.
But then, I mean, we saw a lot of people pointing out the disconnect here, where it was advertised for the longest time as elimination match, yet there's only one pinfall. And if you want to quell any sort of confusion about that regard, if you know the finish is going to be something like this, then just don't advertise it as an elimination match.
Yeah, elimination matches are really cool.
I know. It's a
so if you're not going to have any actual
it's a needless detail to add when it doesn't play into anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It didn't play into anything, so don't add it to there.
I can see. Didn't Renee at the end of this too mention Braun versus Lashley at Super Showdown?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I think, and because I'm pretty sure she just said, "Oh, but these two are going to really go at it at Super Showdown," and then Corey said, "But one of them could get an opportunity at the Universal Championship." Nobody knows what's going on in this damn company. There's too much. There's too much. They need to bring it down.
I know, they really do. Anyway, Braun, as I mentioned, Braun and Lashley, they've kind of had their focus on each other most of the match. They brawl up through the crowd and backstage. So it's just the Miz and Baron. Miz wisely tries a couple of roll-ups to defeat Baron. Doesn't work. He goes for his corner knees. And on the third one, Baron catches him at the end of days. He wins. He will be facing Seth Rollins at Super Showdown.
Yeah. So I'm glad that match is going to go down. Yeah, I like Baron.
Yeah, I like Baron.
I wouldn't have wanted to really watch this match, I guess, because this is the most obvious out. We know that's going to. So if this isn't a pay-per-view that we're actually going to watch, then I probably would have been like, oh man, well I know where all my confidence points are going. Yeah. So I'm happy that it's going to happen at Saudi Arabia because I don't care. I'm not going to see it. We're going to be here playing video games.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had a Uso block party again. Things are getting a little chippy between the Revival and Usos when it comes to cornhole. I think one of the members of the Revival blocked a shot from the Usos.
Yeah, Scott Dawson did a Dikembe Mutombo. No.
I believe in the 90s that was known as a pack.
Yeah, it still is, man. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Nothing like good pack.
Yep. Then R-Truth
swatted it.
Yeah, SWAT. R-Truth, loser locker room comes in, interrupts block party. Couple near falls. R-Truth escapes again.
When Eric Young came in and started beating up people, Eric Young's got some tattoos on his back. He was really close to the camera, and for half a heartbeat, I was like, "Wait, was that Randy Orton?"
I know. I thought that too.
Oh, good. I'm so glad I'm not an idiot. Or maybe we both are.
Well, here's the thing. No.
But how awesome would it have been? How awesome would it be if you just get a couple of main eventers in there too?
So it's not just a loser locker room belt.
Randy Orton wanting that title would be the best thing ever, and he wouldn't win it. It's just he's there. He's there. It's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
And And it might make guys like Robert Roode and EC3 feel a little bit better that they're kind of on the same boat.
Yeah. I just keep
At
forgetting.
least perception-wise.
I just keep forgetting Eric Young's on Raw.
Eric Young doesn't.
So after that, we had episode of Firefly Funhouse, and this was actually really good. Bray had a paper plate mask with his new alter ego, which he dubbed the Fiend. And he had it up and put it down, and he talked about how you never feel like you're not as brave as you want to be.
So these are some of I actually wrote down some of the bits and pieces from it that I found like sort of a bit cooler. He says, yeah, sometimes I find it hard. I find it hard to find my confidence. Sometimes I find it hard to be brave. And then, he calls his alter ego the Fiend, which I thought was cool. That was neat. Then Sister Abigail starts talking to him, and she's like, you just don't want people to think you're a sicko. And he had a really great line, like he had a really great delivery on his response. He was like, I'm not a sicko, Abby.
Yeah.
And then she mentions
letting her free.
Yeah.
Go
because she talks about being in limbo, which, my God, what a great metaphor for WWE creative.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Bray Wyatt, he's been cleared for how long? And, he goes through these spells, and as do many of the superstars of creative limbo. She asks him, why won't you let me rest? She says something about a doctor. You're not a doctor. And then he pops out of frame, pops back into frame in a doctor's outfit.
Coat, yeah.
Then she mentions the limbo thing.
Yeah.
And he says, yowie wowie. And the little light bulb pops up.
Yeah.
There's like a cartoonish light bulb that pops up. And then he's got like a little kid with like a rainbow clown wig on, another one with a sombrero. And they've got a limbo stick. And he goes down into his backward spider position, and they start like going it back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
A couple layers of symbology here, if you will. Thought it was good.
Yeah, that was good
metaphors
too.
Here.
That was good.
And we're getting a feel for what is this alter ego.
Yeah.
He finds it hard to find his confidence. And he's lost his. It's a crisis of confidence.
Yeah,
and he's hiding behind the Fiend mask.
Because he thinks in a different.
I think in
persona.
In Bray, we've heard is basically the creative force behind this, and I feel like he's getting into some really cool sort of meta wrestling references and ideas.
Yeah.
That will end up going nowhere, but they're cool right now in the moment.
They are cool.
So I'm okay with it.
Next, we had the electric chair, which I think was supposed to be like a Corey Graves talk show.
So that you got a good point here. It's a Sami Zayn talk show hosted not by Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
He's the one in the hot seat.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is this is Corey Graves' show. The hot seat is a literal electric chair, and Sami Zayn was the first guest. That wasn't explained, I don't think.
I think anybody... I thought that this was a Sami Zayn show.
No, the way Corey presented it, when he introed Sami, he presented it as this was his show.
Oh, okay.
In the ring.
Let me ask you something, dude. Huh.
I mean, it's going to be the last one.
It's not the electric chair with Corey Graves, though.
Which it should be. But it's also not the electric chair with Sami Zayn. It was just Sami Zayn sits in the electric chair.
Okay, I'm kind of curious now. I would like to throw this to our live chat.
That's fine.
Because I don't like you could be right. It's just that's not the
because we saw the graphic on the road. We were like, well, what's the association between Sami Zayn and electric chair? All the other talk show segments, there's some sort of association, whether it be in the name, yada yada.
Yeah.
Moment of bliss, obvious.
Yeah.
Jericho's highlight reel.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I thought that this was Sami Zayn being the critic. No, I see what you're saying though, because Corey Graves
peep show.
Corey Graves did introduce him, but this isn't. So I don't know. I'm waiting to hear while we talk about this a little bit.
All right.
You can go ahead with the segment.
Anyway,
though.
So it's hosted by Corey Graves.
So Alex C is the first person to say I took it as being a Zayn thing, but then Dave Langer says Corey was then complaining about how they broke his chair. So yeah. Oh, okay. Alex C says Graves. Okay, all right.
There you go.
I really wish that they would have.
Added
his name to it.
I'm guessing it's going to be short-lived, so they didn't bother. The first question. So the format was you had Charlie, Sarah, and Kayla going around the crowd, asking. They didn't seem like they were plants, but they were probably fed their questions.
Oh yeah, sure.
The first question was the person asked, Sami, when is your retirement date?
That's a really grim show idea for Graves, who isn't like a really grim person. Because everybody's saying it's the Graves thing. That's cool.
It's probably he's just trying to be edgy.
Oh, man.
So first question, when is your retirement date? And, of course, he just kind of blows that off.
Yeah.
Second question, he was asked, does he miss the ginger snaps? Is this the one the girl asked him?
Yeah, it was a little girl who kept on wanting to put herself over.
Well, like the first time, he's like, do you want me to know what my thoughts on the ginger snaps? And she just says, duh.
Yeah.
And I got a good response.
Corey Graves laughed about that.
Yeah,
too.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then later on, she tried to grab the mic from
I
think Sarah,
mm-hmm.
whoever was asking the question. So, of course, that he kind of blew off. And he says, oh, you want me to know my thought about Becky Lynch? Maybe you want to know what my thoughts are on Seth Rollins, huh?
Ooh. Shooting straight, shooting from the hip.
Yeah. Third question was, how does it feel when Braun destroys him?
Yeah. And then Sami was like, well, I'm going to come up there and destroy you.
I think I'd punch you in the face.
If I do that, you're just going to sue me like all Americans do. Have you ever sued a person, Larson?
Never. And he also says, if I go up there and destroy you, you'll have to pay for it because you're an American and your health care sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fourth and final question was, why have you not won the Universal title?
Yeah.
And Sami's like, I could. It's not really my focus right now. Oh, but after the third one, he's like, you're asking all these ridiculous, silly questions. Why don't you ask me something that matters, like what kind of kisser I am? I'm actually a very tender lover.
He's a very tender lover.
Which is funny. But anyways, that's the fourth one. He goes on a similar rant and says, you guys can ask me anything. I'm here just to hold you accountable. Why don't you ask me about AEW?
Yeah.
Which, got the response I'm sure they wanted, whereas, dang.
That was good. That was good.
Although, who was it? Was it Kristen?
I think it was Kristen in chat.
In our mod chat.
Secret mod chat.
Secret mod chat. Posted I would guess it would be a Google Trends graph of AEW search traffic.
Through the roof.
Through the roof after Sami mentioned it. So I'm not sure it's going to have the desired effect.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Anyways, Seth runs down the ring. He tosses the electric chair out of the ring. It breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get our main event, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Story this was Seth Rollins hit a suicide dive on the outside, and in story, he tweaked his knee, and so Sami targeted that. But in the end, 2 stomps to fell. Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins.
And Seth was shouting at Sami, this is all I got, or this is something like that.
He started saying, this is my life. This
is
my whole
That's
life.
what it was.
I forget, did you mention that Seth Rollins threw the chair out of the...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Smashing it into several pieces.
It was a really fun match, though. I honestly I was kind of complaining about Sami Zayn the first couple weeks because I thought that it was a go nowhere thing.
It was just too much talking.
It was. Now it's a go somewhere. I mean, he's had a match against Kofi. Now he's had a match against Seth. I mean, I don't think he's going to win anything anytime soon, but he is, I think, sort of a prominent. He has a prominent role. It's a good role. And I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Good for Sami Zayn, and I think he's really good in it, too.
Yeah. I did enjoy that after Sami mentioned AEW.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people talked about his appearance and being the elite, including the Young Bucks.
The mods are telling us not to disclose top secrets about mod chat. Well, they're not in mod. I'm not opening up mod chat to regular chat.
Is that confidential communication?
I was unaware.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even know it was supposed to be Corey Graves' electric chair. You know who that would have been great for? Baron Corbin.
I know.
A talk show.
He collects skulls.
He collects human skulls.
Yeah.
I feel like he's seen Faces of Death.
Oh, definitely. Corey Graves probably has too. Anyways, real quick, let's do our SmackDown preview, Steve. First time in business, Kofi Kingston to clash with Kevin Owens. The next chapter in the rivalry between WWE Champion Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens will be written on SmackDown Live as the two will clash in one-on-one action. Though Kingston emerged victorious from their championship battle at WWE Money in the Bank, matters are apparently not settled between the two superstars. But Kingston's condition heading into the match has to be questioned, as the WWE Champion was once again attacked by his Super Showdown opponent Dolph Ziggler last night on Raw. Can Kingston fight through the pain and defeat his rival, or will Kevin Owens put himself in line for another championship opportunity?
That'll be a good match. If the
match actually happens.
15-minute match.
Yeah.
Well, no, the only one they never get right is the women's match. So that's like...
Well, see what the next segment is and tell me if you still think that.
All right. Dolph Ziggler to appear on the Kevin Owens show. And if facing the WWE champion wasn't enough for KO, he'll also be welcoming Kofi Kingston's Super Showdown opponent, Dolph Ziggler, to the Kevin Owens show. After viciously attacking Kingston on last week's SmackDown Live and last night's Raw, as well as brutally assaulting Xavier Woods with a chair on Monday, what will Ziggler have to say as next Friday's championship match draws near?
Bayley goes one-on-one with Raw's Lacey Evans.
This isn't going to happen.
The target on Bayley's back is only getting bigger, and with the wild card rule in effect, there's twice as many superstars gunning for the SmackDown Women's Champion. Tonight on SmackDown Live, the Hugger will go one-on-one with Raw's sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. Last week, Bayley teamed up with the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch to defeat Evans and Charlotte Flair. Will the result be the same in this singles bout?
Yeah, that one don't expect to have happen. Next, how will Roman Reigns respond to Shane McMahon and his insurance policy? Roman Reigns looked to have Shane McMahon in his sights last week on SmackDown Live, only for Raw's Drew McIntyre to blindside him with a devastating Claymore kick. The antagonism towards the big dog continued on Raw last night when McMahon and McIntyre viciously attacked Lance Anoa'i, a cousin of Roman's. When the Best in the World took things a little too far by locking on a second triangle hold post-match, the big dog came to his cousin's aid. Why? Yeah. Taking McIntyre out with the Superman punch. I was like, why wasn't Roman Reigns' Lance's insurance policy?
I don't know, man.
It's because they had to beat him up.
Yeah.
Anyways, taking McIntyre out with a Superman punch that staggered the Scottish Dominator, but gave McMahon an opening to escape by the skin of his teeth. Now that Shane McMahon has crossed another line by going after Roman's fam, how will the big dog respond?
Can R-Truth make it through another night as 24/7 champion? It's been a rough week for 24/7 champ. R-Truth, despite his best efforts to hide from his fellow superstars, Truth has yet to have a peaceful moment since dethroning Robert Roode for the title. It was no different when he made his way to Raw last night for the Usos' block party. R-Truth got rolled up and narrowly lost the title on several occasions, but he once again ran off into the night as a cadre, good word, of superstars gave chase. Will it once again be #RunTruthRun on SmackDown Live, or will a new 24/7 champ be crowned? Find out tonight on SmackDown Live, 8/7 Central, USA Network.
And this is written by Bobby Mellock, who looks exactly like Rick Rude.
Yeah, he does.
Next to his picture.
Spitting
next to
image.
his name.
Question time.
Time for questions.
Alto. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Eddie.
Oh, happy birthday.
He says, can Mark and Taker, they're one the same. Cena and Taker wish me a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Eddie.
Happy birthday to you.
Eddie.
Happy birthday, Eddie.
Eddie.
Happy birthday, rest in peace.
And many more.
All right, let's see here.
Chris Velites. To celebrate AEW, I want to hear Kenny and a medley of your WWE impressions to discuss the Saudi Arabia show. I guess I'll be Kenny, and you can do whoever you want.
Okay.
Go start with Undertaker. You're trying to justify why you're doing the show.
Oh, my God, they have given me so much money. Vince McMahon.
Well, listen here, you old fart. Do you understand the human rights abuses that go on in Saudi Arabia?
I'm going to abuse your human rights, Kenny Omega. I will make you put you down like a dog.
V-Trigger.
Skirt. Hey. Let's see here. So somebody pointed this out. We forgot to mention this. Snake Sosa. They cut out the Sammy's AEW remark on YouTube.
Yeah.
Look, man. So apparently...
Meltzer said it was definitely scripted, and Alvarez, his co-host, said it was unscripted.
Yeah. Then they came to then the meeting of the minds came together.
It was like it was scripted, and some people knew it was scripted, and other people didn't know it was scripted. Essentially,
yeah, it was meant to be there, but they were working,
working people who weren't in the know. Essentially,
yeah, it's so stupid.
It really is. Joe Juarez, hey boys, it was nice to meet you at StarCast. Likewise, Joe.
So now we know the quality of their sources. Meltzer has people who are in the know, and Alvarez.
Well, they said they both of their sources were at the same meeting that would have had to have happened for it to be a scripted thing.
It doesn't make
it's all ridiculous.
Sense.
Anyways, Joe says, "Wow, what a Raw when compared to Double or Nothing." Lol.
Do they each know who each other's sources are?
I don't know.
Do they talk about that stuff?
I don't know.
If you had a source and I had a source, would we be hey? We trust each other
comparing
with
sources.
I would think we would, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
We have our financial interests are.
We'd have to vet things.
Paramount to us trusting each other.
Yeah, we have to, but we collectively we'd have to vet things.
I would think so
to make sure the sources were legit.
I don't know, man.
Dom L, I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly wish my favorite wrestler Ruby Riott a safe and speedy recovery. #GetWellRuby.
That's right. She's out with what injury? Is she?
Shoulder surgery, I think.
Butts here in Discord says, why are people comparing Double or Nothing with Raw? They are two completely different types of shows. But they are, I agree, I sort of agree, but they are also wrestling shows.
Well, and also, given the buzz that Double or Nothing generated, you'd think that WWE would want to put their best foot forward to combat that.
There hasn't been anything like this since WCW. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been. And the fact that they were able to pull Dean Ambrose after he left WWE, that's a pretty big deal.
It's a massive deal, man.
Yeah.
Dragon Reborn, Power Rank wedding gifts for Ross and Sam. Congratulations to the newlyweds.
Who?
Ross and Sam, they got married from Cultaholic.
Oh, that's right. Is that video up already? Oh, no.
I think it went up this morning. I haven't watched it yet. I just saw that was up.
Did they get married? Because, would it matter over there? Because they got married in Vegas.
I mean, you got married here, but I think it's still, if they actually signed the marriage certificate, it's still legally binding wherever you go in the world, right?
No.
It's not?
Well, I mean, how many there are countries out there, for example, that don't recognize same-sex marriage.
No, okay.
So I would think if you settle down in another place, you would have to not get remarried, but maybe reestablish.
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know either. Anyways, wedding gifts.
What about what?
That was the question. Wedding gifts.
Oh, something useful, like a toaster or something they don't have already.
Waffle maker.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like a really good one.
How often do you really?
I've had a really good waffle maker. I'd make them a lot. Josh Little. Sorry, go ahead.
Cody Miles says, how about that Maria Kanellis tweet?
Oh, yeah. She said their contract's up in 3 weeks. And then a little bit later, she said, to our gym. But apparently their contracts really are up pretty soon.
Mike Johnson from PW Insider, they're coming up in June.
Josh Little, if we put Vince in that electric chair, what question would you ask him? What 5 WWE wrestlers would like to sign with AEW? I think there's a list a lot longer than 5 wrestlers who'd probably entertain offers from All Elite. If you put Vince in the electric chair, what question would you ask him? Can you retire now?
Is the electric chair actually hooked up?
You're advocating for murder, Steve.
Well, the execution is kind of a different thing.
Nate Williams, I love this Brock. He's enjoying himself like in 2005.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Daniel Encinas, Steve impersonating AJ explaining his injury. He actually is apparently hurt. He's really hurt. We'll talk about that in Overrun today.
Okay. But it's not like serious or anything.
No, he's got a shoulder
issue. I got hurt. I was going to my bathroom to get some hairspray, and I saw somebody had left a Gillette razor near the sink, and it scared me. And I fell, and I hit my head.
Popped my shoulder out of place.
I popped my shoulder, too, after I hit my head, too.
Good job. Zach Linder needs more freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, that guy's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
All right, let's see here.
Sammy Garcia, how do you guys think Seth feels that Dean is going to have an amazing match with Kenny while he has to deal with Dancing Brock?
Dancing Brock was pretty funny, though.
I think he's more concerned.
Seth feels great. He's Universal Champion. I think he's dating Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
He's probably like, man, life is great right now.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I care? We're making a heck of money.
Yeah.
I think he feels awesome. Together Forever, Dan Astley. Kayfabe reasons why the bookers of a wrestling show. Well, hold on a second. Do bookers exist in kayfabe? They don't exist in kayfabe. He says why bookers of a wrestling show didn't book a legitimate wrestling match for the first hour. In kayfabe, there's no booker.
There's no bookers. Like matches just happen.
Yeah.
Or
so
the
kayfabe,
or the McMahons will them to be.
The kayfabe reason why this stuff happened is when they were doing signups at the whiteboard to go do stuff.
Everybody signed up for the talking segments.
Yeah.
Minion TM69, the electric chair seemed desperate. It seemed like a grab to seem edgy or something.
I like the electric chair, man.
Oh, I never have a problem
I just wish, here's the thing, in the graphic for it that preceded it, I wish that Corey was standing behind the electric chair so that apparently the only person in the room who didn't know this knew that it was a Corey Grace segment.
Mm-hmm. Nick Failer, it was great to meet you guys at StarCast. Keep up the great work. Also, shout out to Burl and Jessica in Atlanta. Y'all are too sweet.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I sent them the video. They wanted to know, Burl wanted to know where you were too much, where that came from. And it came from a Scott Hall, a segment of some wrestling documentary.
Yeah.
Where Scott Hall's making fun of Virgil.
Yeah. Thank you, Universal Jones. Jay Sean Lawrence asked, I would have loved to see Buddy Murphy and Dolph Spot.
I know, right?
Yeah, that'd been great.
Sith Lord Vader, do you think Vince is too concerned about the XFL and is not focused on WWE product? I don't think that. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. I think that he's very focused on WWE product, and that's probably the problem.
Yeah. Nick C. A chance to talk to Nick C. in Vegas. He said, hope you guys had a blast in Vegas. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being so kind and compassionate when I shared my story. You give me everlasting memories that can never be repaid. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Nick. It was awesome meeting you.
It was great meeting you and chatting with you.
Imposter Naked Midian asks, so Dean Ambrose became John Moxley in AEW. He actually went back to his old name. What would some other WWE superstars change their names to once jumping ship? So let's say that they didn't go back to like an old name. They got to come up with something new.
All right.
I don't know if Ty Dillinger. So Ty Dillinger is Sean Spears now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had ever used that before he was Ty Dillinger. He did.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So for example,
like if Baron Corbin left to go to AEW.
Yeah.
Would he be Thomas? What's his last name?
Petruski, something like that.
No, it's like Pigeon or something like that.
Pigeon.
Something like that. Like if Aleister Black left, he'd just go back to being Tommy Ed.
I get the feel. Oh, I don't know. He'd be like,
a cult man.
He'd be like, he'd be like Skull Hoarder.
That sounds more like a Baron Corbin name.
That's what I was talking about, Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Who are you talking about?
I said Aleister Black. He just go back to Tommy Ed.
Oh, yeah. He'd just go back because that's a great name. I still wish they would have kept that one.
Thank you, Universal Jones. Fear and Loathing NYC. What do you call a live mat chat? The electric chair.
That's good. That's right. Good. Hey, Corey Graves. My name is Steve here, and this is my first electric chair question.
When are you retiring, Sami Zayn? Tim Spulak asked, Steve, can I introduce you to anyone?
Who said that?
Tim.
Get out of here, Tim.
Thank you, Emperor Electrabuzz.
Tim, man. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a great story.
It's a story. No, I can't tell that story to anybody.
You can't.
I told it in full detail to Lacey last night. She was cracking up.
Something else, man.
I was like, man. And Tim was so happy, too. He was like, oh, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, oh, you.
No, it's great. It's really great. Keenan McCarty.
You are too much.
You guys just don't get Dolph. I think it's awesome. I do get Dolph. I do get
That's
him.
Good. No, look, that's good. That's good. I'm glad that you like it. Anybody out there who likes it, that's awesome. That's good. I am merely stating how I feel about it.
Yes, by all means,
my
if you
opinion
enjoy
on the
it,
subject.
I understand Dolph.
But don't let me take away your enjoyment of something.
Enjoy it.
We're
by no means authorities on anything.
I mean, I understand what he's doing. I do understand him.
It just isn't connecting with me.
I mean, maybe I'm sorry, who said that?
Keenan McCarty.
Okay, maybe Keenan, maybe he's been in a position where somebody won something or achieved something while Keenan left to go do something like greener pastures, and he was like, oh, wait a second. I had been there the same amount of time, so he has a special connection with the storyline.
Could be entirely possible
that he's really connecting with.
Could be.
So in that case, I can't relate. I don't know.
No, I don't know. Pawnstar 11, love you guys. Thank you. Kyle Michigan. Saying what's up from the road. It was great meeting you guys this weekend. Likewise, Kyle.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
Kyle did not, however, get to experience having his head in the corner of the frame.
Yeah, he was the lone person who actually made it up on stage with us.
Yeah.
Javier Reyes. I don't like that Cedric is in the loser locker room already after just 1 week, and he lost, by the way. Yeah, no. He's been on main event. He says he wants to be considered the champion of main event.
They should have a championship title for main event. They should totally do that.
They should. Definitely should.
Tommy McElroy. What would you rather see? Samoa Joe making Brock Lesnar tap out for the Universal Championship, or AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega in All Elite Wrestling? I would rather see Joe tap out Brock. I think that'd be a massive moment, and I think Samoa Joe has had a career long enough to justify that.
I'm going to say AJ versus Kenny in All Elite. Josh Little, are WB kind of hypocritical with their Memorial Day intro video since they're in a relationship with Saudi Arabia?
That's a deep question, man. I mean, look, if you don't even have to say the second part when you ask the question, is WWE being hypocritical? Generally, you can say yes to that particular question. But I don't know, man. I think you can celebrate one thing and and that's okay. That's good. You celebrate the troops and the Memorial Day.
Yeah. Those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for this country. Yes.
Then you got your blood money over here, and that is what it is.
Yeah.
I think they could be separated.
Wayne Maker, how much water must Shane drink to maintain hydration equilibrium during a show? Wrong answers only. Those huge with the spigot on it, the arrowhead like handles essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He before his match, maybe that's why he was all wet. He just takes one of those, lifts it above his head, opens the spigot, and just opens his mouth and drinks the whole thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't sweat during his interview. It was
water.
Arrowhead water.
Yeah, that could be. I'm a profuse sweater. I sweat a lot.
Luis, apparently watching on Hulu for 45 minutes. It was all talking and one boring squash match. I'm supposed to be watching wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. Rip WWE, so ready for AEW.
Wow.
There's be a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
If I have that. Oh, gosh. Universal Jones. Shag, Mary, Fire, Lars, Snitsky.
No. Oh, no.
Heidenreich.
Oh, well, Shag Heidenreich, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get some of that Heidenreich sex going.
Yes. Mary.
Well, you don't want to marry God. You can't, dude. Can you like fire all three? Really?
Yeah, that's really the right answer.
I can't. I don't know. Like, although Titus says that Lars is contrite and he's apologetic and he wants to learn to be a better person, I think that's a good long-term investment. I'm gonna say marry Lars
and fire Snitsky,
and then fire Snitsky. That dude, didn't he kick a baby, or is that somebody else?
He did kick a baby.
You don't want to marry that.
No.
Oh my goodness.
That seems kicking a baby seems a reason to
That's
for
terrible.
To be fired.
Yeah.
Tom talks rubbish. Hi guys, missed you. Great Double or Nothing review with Tim. Thank you, Tom.
Boy, that thing really blew. Like in terms of the number of likes on it. Oh boy, like doubled most of our stuff.
I think that's an indication of enthusiasm for All Elite Wrestling.
I really hope so.
Wayne Maker, Vince buys threats. He mentions progress in ICW.
Yeah, that's true. YouTube's favorite son, Aaron Hagman. I'm just here to point out that the Usos and Revival weren't using regulation distances for their game.
They were not.
Of cornhole. I feel like, look, regulation cornhole, really? It's the block party. Screw regulations. Cares about that.
Wow. Bill Saucier, Carl Anderson went full send driving into the wall. Man, he got tossed into the wall by R-Truth. Or he avoided Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson
I did like that bit. It was very well choreographed.
It was very well choreographed.
Yeah.
Josh Little, remember, Vince is the god of all wrestling. Not.
He said, psych, not. DJ Chicken. Power rank the most tender lovers in WWE.
Well, let's take Sami out of the equation because I assume. Oh, number one, Big E. No question.
Yeah.
Big E.
Yeah.
No question. I don't think it's even close.
I'll say this. I think it is close. I think we've seen their love. In fact, we've seen the power of their love.
Oh.
The Canellises.
All right.
We're about to see the power of their love in AEW, too.
We're back in Ring of Honor. Marcus, Young Bucks versus Usos would be epic. Sorry, had to bring up All Elite.
Let's see here. Daniel and Cenas, what decisions, matches, or promos would you have made to Raw knowing that expectations were set high due to All Elite Wrestling?
Well, I think Sami versus... I would have concentrated on putting forth the best wrestling show in highlighting my best wrestlers.
Well, that's generally what we would do. That's generally what people who want to see a wrestling show.
I think Ricochet and Cesaro, good choice. Seth and Sami, great choice. But give us Usos Revival, especially after the win last week was by roll-up. Yeah. Give us a real match.
Oh, that's one thing. Did you mention this, that Baron Corbin actually kicked out of a roll-up?
Yeah, two of them.
Yeah, oh my goodness gracious.
Focus on your best wrestlers. Mm-hmm. To remind people, hey, the wrestling, All Elite Wrestling was great. We have some pretty good wrestlers here, too.
Mm-hmm.
Fear and Loathing, when you met Conrad, did you ask him to chat you up? No.
He looked very tired.
He looked very tired.
But he seemed okay.
Yeah.
Like he
was perfectly, totally pleasant.
Yeah,
very warm.
Yeah, he wasn't like a dick or anything.
No, he was
I don't think
great.
He's got that in him.
No, I don't think so either. He seemed like a really good dude.
No, he was very like, he was appreciative of us being there, and I'm like, dude, we wouldn't be here.
This is great.
So no, he was terrific.
Yeah, he was great. Fear and Loathing again. Vince Russo said All Elite and WWE are in cahoots. If you don't see that, you're a mark, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think he's just trying to get some buzz for himself.
That's so great.
Good
for him, man.
You're better off ignoring Vince Russo.
Good for him. He's got some scoop, I'm telling you.
He doesn't have anything. Eternal Blue.
Definitely in cahoots.
Eternal Blue says, I was at the show. All Elite Wrestling equals known commodity. They put on a hell of a show, and if that's any indication what the televised product's going to be like, they're going to be fine. Wang Choco, Power Rank Wrestling Currency. So we got ourselves some Young Bucks.
We got a lot of Young Bucks.
So I actually have some in my wallet right now. So you got Okada dollars.
How long have you been carrying those around for, dude?
Since we got them.
Oh, my goodness
Right
gracious.
Got that still, too.
Oh, nice.
So here are some Young Bucks.
So Matthew hooked us up with some of these. Tim Spulak had some, but I think he retained them because everybody else was giving them to us.
Yeah, we got plenty of
and
Young
then
Bucks.
I think two other people gave us Young Bucks.
Yes. Okada dollars are still top.
Well, over here we have one.
Yeah.
So a couple things about this. Number one, I mean, look at the
quality of the paper for the Young Bucks.
This is like tissue paper,
thin.
and it's one side. It's single-sided. Okay. Number one, it's single-sided. Number two, one thing about the Young Bucks is that these, it's too much of a parody of the American dollar.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Okada dollar is its own. I mean, it's obviously inspired by, I think, actually several different currencies. Right. You could see like a lot of.
And also, look, there's the New Japan logo is on this one, and Okada's in front of it. I don't see the AEW logo anywhere here.
An Eastern Caribbean $10 bill here.
Okay.
Compare that to the Okada dollar. So I like the influence of the Okada dollar. While the back of the Okada dollar is more obviously referencing.
And here's the thing:
an American bill.
Also, on the back of the Okada dollar, number one, it has a back, and number two, he's delivering a Rainmaker. And the best thing about it, on the back, while he's delivering the Rainmaker, are a bunch of little Okada dollars.
Great.
So there are other Okada dollars. It's like Okada dollar reception.
Without question, that is top wrestling currency. Although I guess
what's the other one?
JBL had some for a second.
Oh,
right?
I had one of those for a very long time because I got it originally there.
But it's Okada dollars, hands down.
Here's the thing. I think it's Okada dollar, then JBL. You know why JBL? That dude actually was like an expert level investor. Mm-hmm. He had his own show like on Fox Business. Yeah, or CNET or something like that. I think it was Fox Business.
Another one from Wang. It says message retracted.
Oh, awesome. Pretty boy Fred. Dancing Brock is stupid like normal Brock. Delete gives $1. Thank you. Tom talks rubbish. Any Cultaholic collaborations during StarCast?
Stay tuned.
Confirmed, yes. Pete Santiago, will Natalia or Renee suffer Vince's wrath?
Didn't seem like it last night. If we were going to get anything,
I would be really surprised.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, it's funny because nothing really surprised me with Vince, but I mean, that's kind of going too far. It's like the first permanent female correspondent or commentary member. It would be awful PR if they ran her out. That'd be terrible.
It'd be awful. Rand Dash, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's the show. Yeah, we've got Overrun. Overrun today is going to be open to all patrons because we did not have a show yesterday. Mm-hmm. Y'all get one every week. $5 and up patrons a month, and YouTube channel members get bonus episodes 5 days a week. So yeah, that's on the patreon.com/Stephen Larson or right here on YouTube. Just hit the join button. It's $5 a month.
We'll be talking AJ Styles injury on Overrun.
Cool, right on. Okay, we'll do that. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.